Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Practicality again. We have been looking at a parent-child relation, and we have been looking that the parent is adding the child. Actually, let's get rid of this image. It is a little bit distracting, so I'm going to get rid of it from the parent, and we don't have it anymore. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one is we're going to see how we can pass a data basically from the parent to the child using props. So let's assume that the parent wants us to send some message to the child, which is the child component, that is, which is going to be this guy over here. Now, what we do in React is we're going to use what we call props or properties. And it is very easy to use, that it's going to have like the same concept as that of the HTML, the attributes or properties that we're having. So in this case, let's assume that for the child, we're going to be just passing a message. So I'm going to say message equals hello child. Now, this is the only thing which is going to be required from the parent in order to pass any data to the child. So you're going to go to like the child component, and you're going to give it like the attribute or the property name along with that of the value. And on the case of the child, when we are working with the class component, there is an internal built-in variable, which is props, that's going to be just holding whatever is passed to it. So in this case, let's assume that learn in place of this one, let's say message from parent. And in this case, we're going to use one of like the JSX syntax, which is going to be the squiggly bracket. And whenever you're going to be just using any variable, or when you want to call like a method or anything of that kind inside the JSX, then you're going to distinguish that from the rest by using a squiggly bracket. Okay, then in this case, we're going to use this dot props dot message. And the message is this one. So whatever is going to be just the key, we're going to be just using it as props.message. And you can imagine that the props is going to be an object, which is going to be containing whatever is passed from the parent. So we can add more, as you may guess. So we can have, for example, like to do, and we can say maybe study hard. And we can also pass it around on this one. Maybe I can say comma, and the same thing, this dot props dot to do. So if I go back to that of this one, then you can see that the parent remains intact, but the child, we have updated message from parent, and then we're going to have like hello child and study hard. So those are the things that we have passed from the parent. So this is like the basics of the things that you have to know when you want to pass the data from the parent to the child. So in this case, we have used a fixed value or hard-coded value, but you can also pass any kinds of things that you want over here, whether it is a variable, an object, or anything of that kind. You can also pass it around in such a way. So the other concept that we want to see is the state. So the state is like the internal variable or the internal data that's going to be just contained inside the component only. We're not going to pass it around. So we have at least two ways to instantiate like or to use that state. And the first one is using a constructor. So we can say constructor, and of course we have to say super, and I can say this dot state. Again, state is going to be just internally known a variable by React. So I can say state equals, and let's say for this one, I can have like, I am the parent, and maybe I can say description, parent description goes here. Right? So when I want to utilize this one, then the way how I'm going to add it is pretty much the same, because this one, remember, is going to be a variable. And if I want to use a variable, then I'm going to be just using a squiggly bracket. And as you know, over here, or as you can see over here, a state is an object. So in order to access, let's say, title, all I have to do would be just a dot walking, and then this dot state dot title. So I can say this dot state that title, and that would be adding the title. Actually, we can say even before the React, we can say this one. And if I go there, then we can see like I am the parent is going to be just taken out. Probably I can get rid of, okay, let's keep it here. So we can see like the state is going to be just added on that one. I'm going to give you like a very quick note. We're going to come back to that one. But whenever we want to read, then we don't have any problem, okay? So we can read it just directly with this one. But when we want to update the value, let's say from the title to be from I'm the parent, and I just want to say like parent here, then in that case, we cannot just directly do this state that title. Rather, we have to use yet another built-in function, which is the set state, and then we're going to be just using that one. We're going to take a quick look on that, but we're going to cover that one in major, like as we go further on the course. So for this one, this is how we're going to be just doing it, and then this is how we're going to be just instantiating the very first part of like the set state. the state. So there is another way to do that one without using the constructor, which is we can say just simply state, and we can say let's do the title here as well. Mind you, like I'm on a child, just to show you like a different one. I can say title child component here. Maybe I can use this one. And over here, I'm the child here in place of that one. Maybe I can say the same thing. If I want to use now, if I want to show the title, then all I have to do would be just to utilize the state, that's title, and then to show that one. And I still have to say this, that state, that title, and that should be shown on this one. So it's going to show child component here. So in this, you can see that the child can maintain its own state, and also it can accept values from the parent using the props. And whenever we want to use like the props inside the class component, we are going to use this dot props. And whenever we want to use like the state inside the component, then we're going to be just using this that state. So going back, just to briefly show you what I meant by whenever you want to use, then you have to use that that set state. Let's use a simple example, chain handle click. Then we haven't seen yet on how to handle the event, but for now we're going to just quickly show you so that we can see like on how to handle that one. We're going to cover this one on handling of the event, so you don't have to worry, but keep in mind that this is just to show you, let's say we want to change the value of the title, and then how are we going to do that one. So what I wanted to do is whenever I'm clicking on a parent, on a paragraph, just I want to change the title from, let's say I'm the parent to the parent here. So we're going to say on click, and this is how we're going to do in React. The way how you're going to be just handling the event is in such a way. So it is pretty much the same as that of the Java. The only thing is going to be just following the camel case. So on click is going to be just O with the small and then C, and then for every other event handlers, you're going to do exactly the same thing. So on this, again, I'm going to use squiggly bracket because I'm going to call like the function over here. So I'm going to say this dot handle click. And inside that one, let's do the very first test, which is this dot state dot title equals parent here. So what I want to do is whenever I'm clicking on this one, the title, which was showing I'm the parent, would be changing into parent here. So let's give it a shot with that one. And I'm going to reload that. And then if I'm going to be just clicking on that, then nothing is happening. Remember, like something, whenever I'm clicking on this one, just to show you that it is making it here. If I say console.log clicked, we open here to the console, and if I'm going to use just a little bit of this one, and you can see that whenever I'm clicking on that, then the click event is being triggered, but the I am parent has never been changed to that of the parent here. That is because we are accessing it directly on this one. The right way to do it is going to be just to use this dot set state and to use the title to that of like the actually parent here. Or maybe I can use this one, late new string. And over here, we can say string. So if I do this one, and if I reload it just for the sake of that one, then you can see like whenever I'm clicking, then the parent here is going to be just converted on that one. Again, we're going to come back to this one on the event handling and whatnot, but I just want you to remember that regarding the state, the thing that we want to make sure is we can access it or we can read it directly with no problem. But whenever we want to update the value, then we're not going to directly update the value. Rather, we're going to be just using this .set state, and then that's how we're going to be just manipulating it. All right, so this is all about what we have for the state and the props. So on the next video, we're going to elaborate more on the upcoming concepts of the React. So I'll see you there.